Hi, I'm Mike with Holmes Quality Products. Today I'm going to talk about some of the best cards for the beginning of 2025. First up, we're going to talk about the best overall credit card for cashback or for travel. I'd probably have to say it is the Wells Fargo Autograph card. It's a great choice for cashback and for travel because with this card you have no annual fee, but you can use the points for travel, so you can transfer them out, or you can use it for cash back. So it's a very versatile card and it's no annual fee. So if later on things change and you decide you want to use something else, you can just put it in the sock drawer and you're still good to go. So this card has good 3% categories. You're going to get 3% back on dining, streaming, fuel, and travel. So this card has good 3% categories, and then you get 1% back on everything else. So it covers a lot of areas for a no annual fee card. And then, like I said, most cards that have transfer partners, you have to pay an annual fee. There's not very many cards that you can transfer out without paying an annual fee. And right now you can get 20,000 points, which is equivalent to at least $200 for spending $1,000 within 3 months. So you're going to get a bonus. You're going to have good categories, and you get a card that covers a lot, and it's versatile because you can transfer out and you can use it for cash back. Very good card, all in one card if you just want to kind of simplify things, travel cash back, and it's all with no annual fee. So it's kind of hard to say not to get this card. So this is probably the best overall credit card in my opinion. Now next we're going to talk about one of the best travel cards. There's actually two cards because this is very tough. I get torn between these two cards all the time. You have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. It's a $100 annual fee, but they do have a $50 credit or $50 credit every year you can use. So it kind of offsets the annual fee. So then the annual fee is $49 because it's $99 annual fee on it. So you kind of get some of the money back. So you're paying really, as long as you travel once a year, you stay somewhere, it's really easy to use a credit, simple $50 credit. You're only going to pay $49 for the card. So you're going to get a lot for a $49 card. And this is what I would consider a dining card. It's 2 points on travel, which is okay. 3 points on dining. It also has 3 points on select streaming and online groceries. So there's somebody, I think I had somebody comment in one of my videos that said they use some kind of app at Kroger and it counts as online groceries. So just something to point out if you can try that out and see if it works. But it's a pretty good card because it has primary car rental insurance, and I want to say it's up to $75,000. It has very good trip and travel protections. So this card has quite a bit going for it. And right now they have 60,000 points, which is at least $600 in travel for spending $4,000 in 3 months. Now, if you use that same 60,000 points, if you just use it for cash back, you're going to get $600. If you use it for travel, even if you don't transfer it to a transfer partner, they're going to give you a 25% bonus. So this card I like because the points will have a 25% bonus. The other thing with Chase is they have two really good travel or transfer partners, that being Hyatt, which Hyatt points are worth usually at least 2 cents a point, and then Southwest. Southwest is usually worth a really consistent like 1.5 cents a point for using Southwest. So, and also Southwest doesn't have too many people as a Chase is the only transfer partner, but you can't even usually book Southwest unless you book it directly through Southwest. But with Chase, you can actually use their portal and book through Southwest. So, and just so you know, I fly American most of the time, but Southwest allows you to have 2 free check bags, and their prices are pretty good. It's usually on the lower side, and to me the boarding is kind of weird, but that's probably because I'm used to American. But I think it's a good airline. You get a lot of bang for the buck because it's the free check bag and things like that. So having Southwest as a transfer partner, I think is a very good thing. So as long as you're using a credit, you're paying $49. It's $99, it's $95, but you get a $50 credit every year. So it's a lot of card. You get a lot of benefits for a very small annual fee. But I have to mention one other card because this is my most probably recommended travel card. Is the Bilt MasterCard. So you're not going to get a bonus. Sometimes they have like a 5-point bonus for like the first on everything for like the first week or something like that. But there's really no bonus with the Bilt MasterCard, but there is no annual fee either. You're going to get primary car rental insurance, which you also get with the Chase card, but the Chase card you're going to get $75,000. The Bilt card I want to say it's $50,000, but it's a no annual fee card with $50,000 worth of primary car rental insurance when you rent a car. Bilt also is 3 points on dining, 2 points on travel. And they have transfer partners. So no annual fee card like the Wells Fargo Autograph with no annual fee that has transfer partners. That's not very common. So with the Bilt card, you get a lot of good transfer partners, but the two that stand out the most to me are Hyatt and Alaska. So the only people that have Hyatt is the Bilt MasterCard and Chase. So Hyatt's a really good points for hotels. But Alaska, you can do it now with Amex by transferring to Hawaiian and then Hawaiian to Alaska because Alaska's buying Hawaiian Airlines. But nobody else has Alaska as a partner. But Alaska, it's very consistent. Like one of my flights I take is always 12.5 because it goes by distance. So there's less choices. Like with Southwest, with the Chase card, you can choose any flight, anytime, you're going to get this value. With the Alaska, you got to choose certain flights on certain days at certain times, but it's by distance. So the flight that I take will always be 12.5 thousand points because my main flight I take almost every month or so. So it's very consistent because it's always by distance. And according to how the price is at that time, sometimes it's really good value and sometimes it's okay value. But also with the Bilt points, you can use it to get 1.25 cents if you're using them for travel. So you still get that 25% bonus like you did with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but you get it also in this no annual fee card. Also, got to mention, you can use the Bilt MasterCard for rent. Not many cards can do that, almost none. So you can use this for rent. And even if your rent is going to charge you a fee to use a credit card to pay it, Bilt will cover that, say, 3% fee and still give you the 1% back in points. And then if they don't take credit cards, Bilt will mail them a check and you will still get 1% in points. So Bilt card is a great card. It's one of my favorite, definitely my most recommended card. You get a lot of value out of this card and it's a no annual fee card. Also, you have Bilt Dining. So you eat at certain places, you can get 3 points, but you can even use a different card, like say your American Express Gold card, and if you get a Bilt Dining place, you'll get American Express points and Bilt points. Like I said, if you have any questions, I mean, you can put them in the comments down below, but you can check out the Bilt video. Love that card. I believe when I made the Bilt video, they had American Airlines, which is no longer. They do have Alaska now. So great card. You know, I wouldn't tell anyone to hesitate to get it. Oh, one more thing too. So many things about this card is that if you wanted to buy a house and you're renting right now, you can use the points towards buying a house. And I want to say they give you like a 50% bonus on your points. So you're going to get extra percentage if you use your points towards buying a house. And now they have where if you buy a house through their group of people, they're going to give you 1 point per every $2. So anyway, there's some things if you want to later on just save your points and accumulate them and later on buy a house and you're renting right now, this is a great option. This card is an amazing card. So the next card on the list is going to be your best catch-all credit card. So one card that you could just use at your Walmarts or you're going to use at your convenience stores and, you know, your clothing stores, wherever. It's kind of like just, you can use it everywhere and it's going to be a flat rate. So it's pretty simple. It's going to be a 2% card. So the Citi Double Cash, it's 1% when you purchase and it's 1% when you pay it. So it's a 2% card. But there's also a couple other ones I'd like to mention here. You know, I could probably leave some out, but there's a Wells Fargo Active Cash, which is 2%. If you use the Wells Fargo Active Cash, you use it along with the Autograph card, which is the first card I mentioned, you can combine those two cards and the cash back from the Active Cash can be moved over to transfer to the Wells Fargo Autograph and then use it for transfer partners too. So you can, you know, book a hotel through Choice or whoever you might want, or you can book it through the airlines, British and other people. They have a small selection, but they do have places you can transfer it out to. So just something, if you're going to get the Autograph, the Active Cash is not a bad combination with it. But also I'd like to mention is the SoFi, because I know a lot of people use SoFi as a primary bank. And the SoFi credit card gives you 2%, but if you have direct deposit with SoFi, you're going to get 2.2% on that. So those are 3 cards I usually mention, but it's clear what ecosystem you're in. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below. Like if you're using Chase, You want to get the Freedom Unlimited, so that way you can accumulate the most points or whatever. So, but anyway, usually the first card I always mention is the Double Cash. The next card I'm going to mention, it's a little weird spot, but let me say something first before I mention this card. One thing I say in all my videos, if you don't have the cash, you don't have the credit. You treat your credit cards like cash. So if you only have $1,000 in your account and you have $10,000 credit card, you don't spend $10,000. You keep it with what you have. I don't want you guys to get in debt. I want you to pay these cards off every month, and that way you're getting that cash back. You're not paying interest. If you're paying interest, you're losing money and you're wasting money. But with that being said, I do understand emergencies happen, things do happen. So one of the best credit cards right now, if there's something like that going on and you have this expense that you didn't expect and you need a little bit of time to pay it off, is the Chase Slate Edge. It has no interest on balance transfers and on purchases for 18 months right now. There's other credit cards that do the same. Just make sure you find something that's going to have no interest on purchases for 12 plus months. So that way you have the opportunity to pay it off. So if something came up and it was, like I said, an emergency and you needed the cash for it, this is an option. But be prepared mentally to pay that off before that's done. If not, you could get hit with a lot of fees and it's going to be a really bad time because it's going to take forever to pay it off. You really need to make it your goal to pay that off before the interest starts on it. Now I'm going to mention a credit card for building your credit. A lot of times if you kind of have lower credit, it's a little easier to get like Capital One cards and Discover cards. And actually Capital One's trying to buy Discover right now. I think it might have been approved. But anyway, one of the best cards to help build your credit is the Discover It Secured Credit Card. And the reason I mention this card is because usually when you have a secured card, you don't get any benefits. You might get lucky to get a 1%. This one will give you 1% in general category. It'll give you 2% on fuel and 2% on dining. So you have 1% general and then 2% on fuel and dining. So you can get some cash back. And then Discover will match your cash back the first year. So if you get $100 in cash back, just simple, right? They'll give you another 100 at the end of the first year. So you're actually going to get 2% in your general purpose, and then 4% on fuel, and then 4% on dining. Up to $1,000 per quarter, so $1,000 for every 3 months. So it's a good way to kind of like help build your credit. Usually easier to get this card. A lot of times, just so you know too, with secured cards, you have to put money up front, and then they give it back to you on the card. So if you give them $500, you get a $500 card is how it works. So it's a pretty good card to help build your credit. All right, the final category is going to be the best luxury card. This one's kind of debatable because the Capital One Venture X is a pretty good card with a $400 annual fee, and they give you easy to use credits to cover it. But in my opinion, to really have what they would consider, I'd say, a luxury card, I would say the American Express Platinum. Now it does have a $700 annual fee, but if you watch my video, I talk about how that card puts like $400 back in my pocket every year because I do utilize all the credits. So like I pay $700 up front, and then I'm going to get $1,000 back in credits throughout the year on things I was going to purchase anyway. If you're having to go out of your way to purchase something, then you're not really getting it back. But it's things you were going to get anyway, why not? So with the Platinum card, there's a lot. You should watch the video just about it, but you're going to get a $200 hotel credit, $200 airline credit. You're going to get, if you book it through the American Express portal, you're going to get upgrades. You're going to get early check-in, late checkout most of the time. You're going to get lounge access. So if you do travel a lot, you get to go to the Amex lounges, and there's a lot of those compared to some of the other ones. You have to be at these 3 airports to use their lounge, where Centurion lounges are at a lot of airports. You can check whatever your local airport is and see if they have anything. But it's a pretty good card. He has an Uber credit every month too. I usually use it for Uber Eats, and then I just pick up the food while I'm running around. But it's a good card if you can use the credits and you travel enough. Now, I hardly ever recommend this card. I would probably recommend the Venture X over this card almost all the time, just because it's easy for people to justify the cost because it's easy to get the credits for it. But with the Platinum card, you have a lot of coupons is the way they word it, and I agree with that. So you have a lot of these coupons to use to get the credits to compensate for this card. But if you can use it and get all those credits, it's not a bad card. Just make sure you travel enough. I would say you probably need to take at least, I would say 6 probably flights a year for me to start feeling like using lounges on those for me to feel really justified. Using it, I travel like once a month, so I do get to utilize it a lot, but like I said, it's hard for me to recommend to most people. So anyway, this is a short list of credit cards. If you guys have any questions about any other credit cards, or you have your own suggestion, put in the comments down below. If you have any questions, I probably have the cards. I have a little over 40 cards, so I've probably used them. I've had experience with them. It could have been something I forgot about, or it could be something that, oh, there's reasons I think this other one is better. So if you have your own personal opinion, you leave it down below. If I missed something, mention it down below. Hope you guys liked the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.